Well, good afternoon, and this is Frank S. I dug her out of or him, I should say, I suppose, out of the store yesterday with a view to giving her a run. Well, I will call her, because for me, steam engines are always hers anyway. But I dug her out, and I think it's about 17 years since she last ran, and she last ran, I believe, at Glyn Shave's place down at Bexhill. But anyway, here she is plodding around. Interestingly, she decided that she was going to run anyway. This is the very first run going on now, and this was before I'd actually set the vintage FM 40 megahertz radio control going. So she's actually made off, as it were, which is quite funny. But it was only a short run. When I put the gas in, I didn't think that I'd filled the tank, and very shortly after this shot, she'll come to a halt, and it's time for lunch. The pastry cutter wheels certainly don't like gauge 1 points. So this is one of the engines I had for sale last year. Here we are. So gas has just run out, and it's time for lunch. So during lunch, I dug out a couple of carriages, and I also set up the Futaba 40 megahertz. I had changed that from the earlier 27 megahertz I had originally, and if I keep her, I'll put 2.4 gig in, but I don't know. If anyone's interested, for about 750 quid you can have it. I don't have a current boiler certificate for it, so or an original one for that matter. But anyway, that's by the by. So here she is chugging around, and though I think I need to adjust the servo and the Johnson bar. The Johnson bar's not really being able to travel enough with the servo setting as it is, so I'll make up a different little control bar and set that in there so that we've got more control of the sort of the whole throttle business is being controlled basically by the Johnson bar on the reversing gear. So, but there we go. She's chugging along quite happily, and it was only quite late in the video, just before I stopped, because of course watching the video you're not watching the engines as much as you would like. I noticed that if you're viewing the engine from the cab forward, the right hand cylinder block was actually slightly loose, and sooner or later when the engine's going past us, you'll be able to see that cylinder block just moving as the engine's going along, which helps to explain the sort of degraded performance at times. I thought, what's going on here? Because she's quite happy, and she would be running very well. And then, so I believe the timing was being screwed up a little bit by that. I don't know whether we'll be able to see it as she goes by now. Are we able? Yes, you can see how the whole cylinder block is moving there. That's not helping things a lot, is it? Particularly when you go around bends and you're dragging these carriages over the chairs in the Pico gauge 1 points. There we go. Quite funny, I noticed that everybody's crowded into the rear carriage, including Olive Oil at the back there, and it's a bit like the barbecues I used to hold. Blasted people, we've got a huge garden out there, the barbecue and everything going, and everyone's cluttered up in the kitchen when you just go in to do something in the kitchen. Everyone's brothers in there. I never really could understand that. I'd have been quite happy for them to do well, in fact I did let someone else do the cooking more often than not, and that allowed me to try and sip my wine and acquire taste, which I have failed to acquire. There we are, here she is. So performance not as I expected, but I am putting that down to it. I've tightened the cylinder up once I'd finished the run and everything else. As soon as I was aware of it, I brought the run to a halt and let the gas run out, and popped her away. Hello, Olive. My nickname used to be Olive. That's the only reason we've got Olive Oil there. A silly way I signed my name. But anyway, so they're all chugging along there quite happily. And it was great fun. I mean, it's a testament to Astra LGB, with the quality of the engine, that after such a long break, basically all she got was a swift oil up, and she could do with a good wipe down with an oily rag, and well, there she goes. And so popped the old distilled water in, topped the gas up, checked the oils, and lit the gas. And as you saw in the beginning, she was away on her own. She'd already made up her own mind she was going, whether I was going or not. I've tried to be kind to you and cut this so you don't have to. I mean, you're all well familiar with the layout of the railway now, so there's no point in me doing long drawn out shots of everything else. Plus the fact, until I get something better to film with, I can't sort of zoom in and make it interesting, and she does get lost into the background a bit. So it can only get better, as I keep saying, and I hope to goodness it is getting better, but only time will tell. I think we're coming towards the end of the run now, so you'll be all right. The end is nigh, so I don't think there's an awful lot left. But and I have cut her back. She's a lovely look. I've been behind a real one of these over at Abrèche-Vieux in the east of France. Well worth a visit if you can go there. Got some beautiful engines there, and a superb ride. Though I'd bought tickets for the Orient Express carriage for the filming I did on that railway, I found it better for me to sit in one of the open carriages at the back. I remember on one of the days it absolutely threw it down with rain, but there we go. That's when I decided to buy a selfie stick for taking pictures out of the side of carriages. Not a bad idea. Until then I've been just my usual stuffy old self. Ah, who wants a selfie stick? Ah. I do have to eat so much humble pie and so many of my words, but will I ever learn? Getting a bit late for it now, I'm afraid. If this leopard ever changes spots, we're in real trouble. I think the end is nigh. What have we got coming up? A little shot coming around the bend. Look at that, what a lovely engine. Look at that poor cylinder there. No wonder. Perhaps I should devote more time to actually watching the engine than trying to watch them through the back of an iPhone. This is it. So she's just running out of gas, cooling down, and it's game over, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and share. Bye bye.